All right, guys, welcome to the Hoop Portal. We are live streaming now. Watch along for the Purdue Alabama game. About to get tipped off underway here. Remember, like, subscribe, enter your name in the portal to get involved. We'll be here all season long. The main thing with this game tonight that I think we're really looking forward to see is the contrasting of styles between Alabama and Purdue. They both play super differently. Phylon, Holloway, right cell. This might be the best backcourt in the country as it pertains to college basketball. They didn't even really necessarily shoot particularly well from the three-point line on their game against St. John's at Madison Square Garden. We just tipped off. Ball game is underway. Alabama starts with the first possession, and here we go. I've been to a game one time at in Tuscaloosa, and it was pretty unique. It was a much different kind of experience, I guess you could say. It seemed a little dark. It looks a little bit brighter. Alabama starting off immediately with 2 points in the paint. Purdue has got to be able to contain these guards on the wings. If they allow them to get downhill and make passes to these bigs, Purdue is not going to stand a chance in this game tonight. But then when you look at Purdue and you see their size and what they have, you feel like they should be able to match up well. Braden Smith is considered one of the best point guards in the country. But if I'm being completely honest, up until this point of the season, I would much rather have any of the three guards at Alabama over him potentially, depending on the style of play you're looking at. Again, here we go. Alabama again gets 2 feet in the paint, kick it back out. Aiden Holloway, who was fantastic against St. John's. Those two guards between Holloway and Phylon. Phylon pulls up a three here off the mark. Alabama gets a rebound. Nope, we're gonna go the other way with a foul on Alabama. Purdue survives that. Again, as far as this game goes, when we look at the contrasting of styles, Alabama wants to play up and down the court. Purdue seems more like they want to slow it down and seems more like your traditional Big Ten type basketball team. But here we are. We're underway. Alabama starts with a high level pick and roll, gets the big down. And see, that's where I think there's going to be a huge problem for Alabama. I don't know if they're going to have the size to match Purdue in the paint. That is a ridiculous shot by Holloway. That's part of the issue too. I think maybe if you have been watching Alabama, is that they can get out of control. I think they did really well against St. John's to not turn the ball over. But at the same time, they clearly play with a fast breakneck pace of play. But it can get out of control, which is why it was so crazy that in that St. John's game, they were able to only turn the ball over 7 times, I think, as a total as a team. And the guards between Holloway and Phylon only had 1 combined. 46 points and 1 turnover combined between your 1 and 2 is just absolutely ridiculous. Not many teams in the country are going to be able to beat a team that is playing like that. Purdue, though, has looked good so far. We're just a couple of minutes into the game. If you're just joining, remember, please like, subscribe, share the video, enter your name in the portal. Purdue hits another shot, and right now they're looking pretty good, up 6-2. Nate Oates seems frustrated by something, and the big thing here is that crowd really can rock in Tuscaloosa, and they've got the hard hats going. It looks like a really good environment. If Purdue can eliminate the crowd, it changes everything. But with one simple shot like that, 2 feet in the paint, and they spray out, hit a three, and now the crowd is absolutely going to be geared up and revving. I can't hear it. I don't have sound on because if the sound was playing, it would get copyrighted on the channel. So get in the comments, tell me, let me know, is it actually rocking there? It looks a little bit more lively on one side, but I think they have the student section set up only on one end of the court. I don't think it goes all the way around. which I was actually at the NC State game last night. And what was cool about them is that they have the students on both sides of the court. It just makes a huge difference. If you've been to a game in Chapel Hill, it's super small student section, and then they put the rest of them up in the stands, and it makes for such a different experience. Alabama misses a shot off Purdue out of bounds. We're going to stay on this side of the court. Purdue currently leading 8-5, 17 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in the first half. We are just underway here. Thanks again for joining us, guys. Really looking forward to doing this. This is our first watch along, so I really don't know what it's going to look like, how it's going to go, but we're excited to be here. Hopefully, if this goes well, Alabama puts up another three and makes it. And just like that, two made threes, you completely change the course of the game. This is what Alabama is looking to do, and now they're trying to extend pressure full court. That definitely looked like some sort of foul. And that's the other thing too, as we piece these games together, and why it's so fun to watch these different conferences play against each other. You get to see who's kind of built for some of the physicality, who has the real toughness, who kind of has what we might call fake toughness. And Alabama looks legit, but Purdue looks up to the match as well. 8-8 score right now, 16 minutes, 53 seconds to go in the second half. Purdue is about to run a baseline out of bounds play. If you watched the Louisville, Kentucky game, you saw a masterclass by Pat Kelsey on those baseline out of bounds plays and those ATOs. Louisville was able to steal multiple possessions, get multiple easy layups just off those. Too many coaches don't put enough value, I think, in those situations. You are able to really get a lot of easy buckets maybe, or just help your guys out to steal 2 points here and there, or steal another possession here or there. And when these games come down to the wire and they're only 4 or 5 point games, all those little possessions and things matter. And some coaches don't take advantage of them. I think Nate Oates is one of the best in the country at doing that. I can't speak much on Matt Painter. I have not watched a ton of Purdue basketball in the last few years, but seems like they're pretty solid. And it seems like with a point guard like Braden Smith, you should be able to run a lot of really good sets and have something coming out of every time out. As I say that, Braden Smith misses 2 free throws, kick back out to Purdue, missed 3, but really good hustle play. We will stay on this side of the court with Purdue. One thing we want to get into, Alabama, their schedule in the non-conference is just absolutely brutal. They went already to Madison Square Garden to play St. John's. Big misses a layup for Purdue. Alabama's already been to the Madison Square Garden to play St. John's, looked really good in that game. They now are playing Purdue, get that game in Tuscaloosa. Alabama takes another 3 off the mark. Purdue comes down with the rebound, and they're looking to go the other way. Braden Smith bringing up the court. After this game, Alabama has Illinois in a game that they'll play in Chicago. That looked like a foul. I mean, they're letting them be really physical, but Purdue is matching the physicality right now. 10-8 Purdue. Who is that? Oh, Trey Kaufman-Wren looks really good. The two bigs, what is it? Kaufman-Wren and then Clough seem up for the battle. And this is where Alabama, even though they missed that 3, this is where it's going to get interesting. Can Clough and Kaufman defend on the wing without getting out of position and without fouling? Alabama's going to try to stretch the floor out. They're going to try to stretch the game out. You're going to have bigs that are able to deal with that size, that physicality, and be able to defend guards, which is really difficult to do. And Clough, I think, is probably going to struggle. Kaufman-Wren probably feels a bit more likely to be able to handle that, but we will see how that plays out. We are finally at our first under 16 media timeout. Let's go over some of the stats that we've had so far. 4 points from Kaufman-Wren for Purdue. Clough's got 4 points as well. Braden Smith with 2 points. 0 for 2 from the 3-point line. 8 rebounds for Purdue to Alabama's 2. So if that continues to be a factor, Purdue is definitely going to be able to win a game with that. Alabama has 3 assists to Purdue's 2. 0 turnovers for Purdue and 0 turnovers for Alabama. So that's been really good to see so far from both sides. Purdue is shooting 56% from the field, 5 of 9. Alabama at 3 of 8, 38%, but they have made 2 threes. So in essence, this game has been basically what we thought it was going to be. Purdue trying to play physical inside, in which they're doing, and Alabama trying to get out and put threes up. They've had 3 different players for Alabama have scored. Holloway, Bull Bowen, and Sherrell. Sherrell was a guy that I think he just came back pretty recently. A couple Alabama fans had said in the comments and mentions that they were happy that he is back. We are underway in our first watch along. Purdue up 10-8 over Alabama. Remember, guys, like, subscribe, enter your name in the portal. This is the watch along for the Purdue Alabama Crimson Tide game. We have just hit our under 16 timeout. Big stat so far is that Purdue is winning the rebounding battle. Actually, now just been updated 9-2. What are Purdue's next games? See, this is that side. ESPN just now showing the on-ball action by Alabama. Purdue after this is going to play Akron. They've got Memphis. I'm thinking that is the Thanksgiving tournament. Oh, it's the week before. Eastern Illinois at Rutgers, which is a conference game already in December. Then they will play Iowa State. They've got Minnesota. They've got Marquette. Auburn in Indianapolis should be a really good game to see. Purdue not playing the most difficult non-conference schedule, but maybe that's just when in comparison to Alabama, which is just absurd. Again, they played St. John's. They have Purdue tonight. They're going to play Illinois next week in Chicago, and then they are going to Las Vegas and will play against a really good Gonzaga team that I think is not getting enough mentions and credit by the media. When they announced that Grant Foster was going to be eligible to play and the NCAA was going to allow him, I think that just really is going to take that Gonzaga team to a whole nother level. And with the conference and the schedule they play, they're going to win 27-30 games this year. It's probably going to be another really good season for Spokane. I'm excited to watch them play against Oregon. That game is going to be in Portland, I think late December, which is just a really cool nod to the Pacific Northwest. And should be a really fun game, specifically for fans of West Coast basketball. And we are back underway. Purdue with the ball, 15:30 left to go. And immediately they go back inside. 2 more paint points for Purdue. Alabama's getting killed right. If they continue to let them get off in the paint, it is going to be real. Alabama's going to have to shoot threes. Another turnover by Alabama, their first one of the game. Up ahead, 2 feet, another paint touch. Alabama did a really good job to get back, but then they lose Braden Smith in the corner, knockdown 3. If you are Alabama, you cannot. This is literally the equation to see yourself lose this game and potentially get blown out. And if they don't make threes, and as I say that, they make another 3, Alabama's going to live and die by it. They understand who they are, and I respect that they're able to stick with that identity no matter what the situation is. Purdue coming back in. Ball's up top. Starting to run this off-ball action. Braden Smith comes off the wing. Another corner 3 wide open. Trey Kaufman knocks that one down. Currently 18-11. Purdue. And again, it looks like the student section, the 2 sections that they do have with their white hard hats, are getting taken out of the game. Alabama corner 3, airballed way off. Braden Smith gets the rebound and looks to push the ball back up the court. 14-10 remaining. Purdue again up 18-11. Lob up, and Big misses the layup. God, how many bigs does Purdue have? The team is... Who is that guy? I have never even heard or seen that guy before. Who did Braden Smith just throw this lob to? What number is he? See, Purdue, put the names on the back of the jerseys, please. Can we get past that? I don't even know who this guy is. What is going on? It's got to be Jacobson. It's got to be who it is. Purdue, where do you guys find these massive individuals from? I don't even make sense. They definitely don't just like growing in West Lafayette. Okay. Alabama comes back, knocks down a corner three. This is it. Alabama, I guess, I mean, they've figured it out. If they are going to stay involved in this game, they are going to have to hit 3-point shots. 18-14. Purdue leading, 13:30 left in the game. Our first half. Lawyer coming off a dribble. I mean, this dude Jacobson looks big, but he doesn't necessarily look all that talented yet. Maybe that's not the greatest thing to say. Alabama with another three. See, this I have the feeling is going to be a game of just runs. I mean, Purdue, Alabama, I don't know if it's going to be a back and forth exchanging buckets left and right. This feels more like Purdue is going to try to just pound the inside. If they get out of character, Alabama's probably going to torch them in transition. And Alabama's going to do what Alabama does, and that is shoot a ton of 3-point shots. It is Jacobson. How tall is this guy? He's got to be like 7'4". Purdue with the spin. Another miss layup. That's the second missed layup now by Purdue tonight. And they call a foul. See, that's where you get double negatives. And double negatives in this situation does not make a positive. You miss a layup, and then you foul 94 feet away from the basket. As a coach, you just hate to see it. Did he hit that three off the side of the backboard? I think he banked that in from the corner. Alabama getting a little bit of luck there. Current score, 18-17. Purdue shooting 47% from the field, 40% from three themselves, but those 2 threes they hit were both from the corner, wide open. Alabama shooting 57%, 5 of 10 from three. So, yeah, this is it. This is what we have tonight. We are going to have a Purdue pound the glass, get inside. They've missed 2 layups so far, and Alabama is absolutely just going to try to get up and down and shoot threes. Alabama currently on a 6-0 run. Holloway off the top ball screen, and bang, another 3-point shot for Alabama. That takes them to 6 for 11 now. I mean, if they can shoot that well, this is again where it goes back to I don't know how many people in college basketball can actually beat this team. If they're going to shoot 6 from 11 and play the way that they are and have 1 turnover so far through these first 8 minutes of the game, they're going to be super difficult to beat. Another missed layup by Purdue. That's Jacobson again. He's had 2 shots at the rim. Not super simple shots. One was off a lob and one was just there with that little hook floater. But you've got to imagine they need to be able to make those. Holloway with a step back is partially blocked. I don't know who got a piece of that. Braden Smith comes away with the board, pushes up. Purdue gets inside, sprays back out. Braden Smith at the top. I probably would have just shot that if I was him at this point. Jacobson sets the high ball screen at the top of the key. Braden Smith, step back, tries to draw the fouls, unable to. Good discipline by Alabama there. Ball goes inside to Jacobson. Sprays back out. 3-point shot Purdue, and good. Now Purdue makes their shot, takes them up to 3 for 6. Purdue leads by 1 point. This has been a really good game so far. Holloway gets back inside, off the mark. He will go to the free throw line. And that'll take us to our under 12 media timeout. For those, again, if you're here, please subscribe, enter your name in the portal. We'll be here all season doing watch-alongs. Appreciate the support. Get in the comments. Let me know what you guys are seeing, what you guys think. So far, going over the stats as we are at 11 minutes, 8 seconds remaining in the first half. Let's start with Purdue. Right now, they are being led by Kaufman with 7 points and Smith with 5. 3 points off the bench for Harris on that last made 3-point shot he just hit. They are shooting 9 from 19 from the field for 47%. 3-point, they are 3 for 6. Alabama has made as many threes as Purdue has taken up to this point. Remember, guys, thanks for being in. Subscribe and your name in the portal. Chewy user, thanks for joining. Purdue, 3 for 6 from the 3-point line. They've got 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 0 turnovers, and only 2 fouls. See, I was at the again, I said this earlier, but I was at the NC State game last night. but they played UNC Greensboro. 44 free throws shot in the first half between those two teams. It was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the first half literally took an hour and 10 minutes just to get through it. It was insane. It was ridiculous. It probably stemmed from there was a fight and an ejection within the first 4 minutes of the game. And so the refs probably come back and try to level it out, get control of it again. But at that point, I mean, come on, 43 free throws and a half is just ridiculous. You can't let a college basketball game go on like that. Anyway, as we get into this, Bryson, thanks for joining. Mosifus, thanks for joining. Subscribe, enter your name in the portal. Rebounding battles going to Purdue at the moment, 12-6, so they're doubling them up there. Assists are pretty even, 7-6 in favor of Alabama. Alabama only has one turnover. Purdue has none. And 2 fouls on Alabama, 2 fouls on Purdue. The refs are definitely letting them play, which is good. It's especially early on in the game. You want to see them settle in, find their way, see what makes it, what's working, what's not. Purdue finds themselves right now with a 1-point lead over Alabama, 11 minutes left in the first half. I tell you what, when we watch soccer games, it goes so much faster because there's no breaks. Every 4 minutes having a media timeout just seems absolutely ridiculous in college basketball, but whatever. It's how they make their money. I get it. But Purdue looks good so far. I think these are two teams that one was a pretty consensus favorite to win the national championship in Purdue. And on the other end of that, Alabama, I think, has surprised a lot of people with their victory against St. John's at MSG and putting themselves into that kind of caliber of being one of those teams. And this is a top 10 matchup that we have in early November, which we don't really get a ton of. So game is back on. Aiden Holloway is at the free throw line. Is going to take the first one, and it is good. Tie game, 21-21. Aiden Holloway at the free throw line still has one more shot. He was so good in that game against St. John's. 10 points in 24 games off the bench last year for Alabama. And again, I mean, he's having to fill the shoes of Sears, but I think he's not having to do it by himself. Alabama has multiple guards between him, Phylon, and Reitzel that can really just take on all of that, I guess, production that you were looking to try to replace after losing a guard as good as Sears. Purdue again with a second chance. Offensive rebounds right now 7-1 in favor of Purdue. Rebounding total 13-6, also in favor of Purdue, but Alabama finds himself up one, and that is going to be Purdue's first turnover of the night as Trey Kaufman dribbles the ball off his foot out of bounds. And this is where the physicality maybe gets out of hand, and the refs have to then check as Bull Bowen and Kaufman get into a little shoving match. But again, it's what you want to see in basketball. We talked about this multiple times on the channel and just said, you know, there's too much of this he definitely, okay, Bull Bowen absolutely flopped there. I don't know what he was doing. But this is where you want to see this in college basketball. You enjoy sports hate. There's not like there's really beef between these people, but as competitors, you're competing against each other for spot, for position, for playing time. And so many times we're just asked these kids and these coaches to just be robots and act like they don't care. Alabama flares, pops to the corner three, just off the mark. Trey Kaufman comes down with the ball. Purdue's looking to go the other way. Alabama, again, up 22-21, 10 minutes left. Breaking news, Shohei Ohtani wins 4th unanimous MVP in last 5 seasons. Shout out Shohei and the Dodgers. Purdue knocks down a 3 outside. I'm not sure who hit that one. I was missing reading the Shohei news. But now Purdue is up 2. Shooting 10 for 21 from the field and 4 from 8 for Purdue. Purdue is shooting really well, and Alabama comes back and makes another 3. Maybe Purdue, I was wrong. I did not think they were going to come out shooting. But even then, 4 from 8 is not that crazy. Shooting 50% as a team from 3 is obviously still really good, but Alabama shooting 7 for 14. So if you're going to shoot 50%, I guess you need to put up more. Purdue makes another little mid-range bucket, and that was, who hit that? Meyer hits that. He's got 5 points off the bench right now. 5 in a row, 2 for Purdue. Omir Meyer, Alabama. How is Purdue losing these guys in this situation? You know what Alabama's wanting to do. I saw people commented on the clips that we posted for the St. John's Alabama game, saying that St. John's had every clip that we showed had St. John's players out of position and not where they need to be and no help side defense. But at the same time, it's like we're seeing this with Purdue. It's not as if these college kids don't know how to play defense. I think Alabama is just that sure of their identity and who they are that you then have to decide, okay, you can't take every single thing away. And most coaches, I would imagine, when they get into these preps of how do we play and beat Alabama, you've got to start with the paint. I don't care what the nerds and the analytics say and all those different types of things. The easiest shots in basketball are still layups slash dunks, and free throws. As Trey Kaufman, I think, is back in the game, has a little hook shot. Purdue finds himself up 3, 28-25, 8:38 remaining in the first half. But if you're playing against Alabama, again, another wide open three. How are you losing these guys in transition? That wasn't even in transition. Aiden Holloway knocks down another three. The guard play here is ridiculous. He's up to 14 points tonight, 4 for 6 from the 3-point line. At some point, someone has to guard him. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment that maybe you want to guard Alabama's best player. Turnover by Purdue, and this is what they absolutely have to avoid. You cannot have live ball turnovers. Phylon throws it down. Alabama on a quick 5-0 run. Up 2 now, 8 minutes to go. Braden Smith, a lot of this run now is coming with Braden Smith on the bench. You got to think Painter's probably going to get him back involved in the game. This kid Meyer, though, is hooping. Oh, my gosh. He's got 7 off the bench and 7 out of the last 9 for Purdue. Little 2 mid-range floaters and a 3. I like his game. Holloway getting downhill again. Oh, my goodness. And then he loses him. Really, really fortunate that he missed that. Purdue is unable to come away with the offensive rebound. We're going to be now in our under 8 media timeout. Tie game, 30-30. Really good game going on in Tuscaloosa. Again, thank you guys for joining. Hit subscribe, like, share the video, enter your name in the portal. 30-30, tie game. Let's get back into the stats so far. Purdue has decided they're just not going to guard Aiden Holloway. He's got 14 points on 4 of 7 shooting, and 6 of those 7 shots have come from the 3-point line. He's got 1 assist to go with that in his 11 minutes. And that's really it. Everybody else for Alabama is 2 points, 3 points, 2 points, 3 points, 3 points, 3 points. And then 3 players that have played without scoring yet. Holloway's got 14 of the 30 for Alabama. Purdue scores. Kaufman's got 9. Clough has 4. Braden Smith with 5. Lawyer, 2 points. Meyer off the bench with 7 on 3 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3. Harris has knocked down a 3 as well off the bench. Purdue right now is winning the rebounding battle 15-7, which in most cases I think many of us thought is exactly how that would go and what would happen. But because they're winning the rebounding battle, Alabama's going to have to win the 3-point battle to stay in the game, and they are. Alabama is shooting 8 of 17 as a team from the 3-point line at 47%, as Purdue is shooting 50% as well, but 4 from 8. So Alabama currently making as many threes as Purdue is taking and shooting at basically the same clip rate. 9 assists for Alabama on 10 made field goals. I mean, there's what Alabama was against St. John's. And even in that St. John's game, St. John's was up, I think, 1 with less than 6 minutes left to go. So it wasn't even, I mean, you had this really good game, and it wasn't like St. John's was terrible or getting blown out. Alabama just kind of pulled away there at the end. But even with this is what Alabama did against St. John's, and they appear to be doing it again tonight against Purdue. Purdue, 7 assists on their 13 made field goals. Still just at 2 turnovers. Alabama with 1 turnover. We mentioned that before, too, on a video. How I think it's just amazing, some of these teams, the way that they're playing. And I feel like so many times early on in the season, you have games, even with good teams, where they're going to turn the ball over maybe 18 to 25 times. And it's kind of just something you live with as they still figure each other out. I've been really impressed by multiple teams not having these ridiculous turnover games. Can't say that about North Carolina. Well, they actually did okay against Kansas. I think they ended up with 11 turnovers. They just had 4 of them in the first 4 minutes of that game. But Alabama's over a game in which they put up 81 shots and scored 103 points against St. John's. They only had 7 turnovers as a team. So some scores around the rest of the country. Michigan State up on San Jose State. Another big game tonight was Pitt and West Virginia. If you guys know the rivalry there, that is a big one. West Virginia finding themselves up 12. Obviously, we're tied here 30-30 between Purdue and Alabama. Still got some games left to go tonight. We're back on our way here. 7:30 remaining in the game. Alabama has a big actually drive, kicks it back out. I think that's Philon with a 3 off the mark. Lawyer comes down with the board for Purdue, gets it to Meyer, and we are back off going the other way. Trey Kaufman gets down, has a little floater, and it is good. Trey Kaufman's playing really well. Definitely looks like the best player right now for Purdue. But just like that, Bama gets back down the court and puts in another bucket. 32-32, 6:45 left to go. London Jamison with the layup in transition for Alabama. Come back the other way. Clough is back in, I believe. Now, this isn't quite the starters. Lawyer takes a 3 off the mark, out of bounds. Will go back to Alabama. 32-32, 6:28 remaining in the game. Both teams have played pretty well. Trey Kaufman has looked really good. 11 points on 5 shots tonight for him. Is yet to miss. 11-5 on pace for a 20-10 game, which is all you can really ask for from your better big. Clough is back in. He's got 4 points. We are not quite with the starting lineup. Purdue still has a couple guys on the bench. A lot of people, again, felt like Braden Smith was going to be the best point guard in the country. I feel like he's not looked terrific. That was a really rough play, but Alabama comes away with offensive rebound. Wrightsell takes it downhill. Just off the mark, Kaufman comes back down with the board. Purdue looks to push the other way. Rotate the ball, get it to Braden Smith. Go screen by Kaufman. See, Purdue has looked a little out of sorts with some of their offensive sets as well. Lawyer comes off. That's a really good situation. And then Kaufman turns the ball over. That, though, could have been, well, I don't know. You could be mad at both of them for that one because I think that was Jacobson, number 12. He's 7'4". He looks 7'4". He's got to be at least 7'2". Throw the ball up to him in the air. Let him go get it. I don't know why you're throwing a bounce past him in that situation, but Kaufman with a turnover. That is Purdue's second. I think that's Purdue's second turnover on the night. Alabama coming back the other way. Tries a little scoop layup off the mark. Purdue now getting out in transition. Alabama gets back, has 4 bodies back in position. Purdue resets it back up. Goes inside to Kaufman. Kaufman surveys. Now he gets it to Jacobson up high, and it turns into a layup. So you know what? We are going to give that last turnover definitely to Kaufman. Don't bounce the ball to your bigs. Give them the ball up high. Don't make them work for it. Jacobson makes the layup. Alabama back in their pick and roll action. Spreading the court, 5 out. Pick and pop from there. Holloway sprays back to Philon. 3 from Bowen at the top of the key, and good. I've been really impressed by Bull Bowen over the last 2 games that we've seen from Alabama, including this one. Just does his job. Really difficult big to defend and deal with. And at that size and length, if he's able to shoot threes like that, which he's 2 for 3 tonight, Taylor Bull Bowen, really difficult guy and a clear NBA guy. But Purdue comes back, and they're going to do what they do best, and that's get the ball inside to Trey Kaufman for easy layups. Kaufman up to 13 points now. Purdue back up 1, 4:36 remaining in the game. Cole, my guy, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Have you guys played yet for Thales or no? Got a quick timeout here. Run back down from this. Purdue shooting 4 of 9 from the 3-point line. Alabama 9 for 19 from the 3. Purdue winning the rebounding battle, doubling up Alabama 18-8. Alabama, those 10 assists on 12 made field goals. Well, did you win both of them, Cole? Alabama coming back the other way. Meyer getting some minutes here. I don't know if he's supposed to be one of these guys that is actually playing more often than not. He did not start tonight. Kaufman going back inside. It's clear what Purdue's trying to do. Just rimmed in and out. Get the ball inside to Kaufman and see if anybody can defend him. Alabama doing what they do best. Pass to the wing, pass to the corner, three, and he hit every part of the rim as that bounced back down and in. Alabama back up to 4 minutes left to go. Cole, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry, but it's okay. You got a long season left to go. Braden Smith bringing the ball back down the court. And again, we get a high ball screen. Kaufman kind of goes out of it. Braden Smith gets inside, turns the ball over. Thought he got fouled there on that one. Alabama looks to push. Right cell 2 feet in the paint. Lawyer did a really good job until he fouled him. Well, he did do a good job, and then the Lawyer got away with the foul. Under 4 minutes. Here we go. This has been a really good game. Thank you guys for joining. Remember, subscribe, enter your name in the portal. We're live on YouTube. We're live on TikTok. First ever watch along for a game on the channel. Appreciate you guys being here and watching this. Let's get into the stats. Alabama currently up 2 at home over the Purdue Boilermakers, our top 10 matchup of the week. Let's see who's been playing well for Alabama. Holloway, 14 points on just 7 shots. Super efficient. He's 4 of 6 from 3. He's taken 7 shots in total. 1 assist, no turnovers. Bo Bowen now has 2 threes for Alabama to bring his total up to 6 points and just 1 rebound, 1 turnover for him. Alabama getting 8 points off the bench between Jemison, Allen, and Williamson. Purdue, Kaufman, Wren been the best player so far with 13 points on 7 shots for Purdue. Meyer, 7 points off the bench on 3 of 4 of shooting. Purdue shooting 4 of 9 from the 3-point line as a team. Alabama, 10 of 20. Again, it's going to be really difficult to beat any Alabama team if they're shooting that well. This game feels a lot like the St. John's game. It really does have that type of feel right now for Alabama. Purdue obviously just being the St. John's. Purdue winning the rebounding battle 18-9, doubling them up. Alabama leading the assist 11-9. Purdue is at 4 turnovers now to Alabama's 2, and the fouls are still even at 3-3. Looking to see a bit. Well, Braden Smith has had a really good game. 5 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover in 12 minutes. Jacobson has been a little bit rough, but he finally got his bucket, which I think that one play was on Kaufman that kind of messed that one up. Michigan State just getting underway in the second half there against San Jose State. They are currently up 46-23. Michigan State, to me, has been one of the most surprising teams. I was not big on them this year as far as I think sometimes we don't always know what we're getting from a Tom Izzo group, but this group does look really, really good. And I think they were really impressive in that Arkansas game. I think the most impressive thing too, as well, with that game against Arkansas was that they held that team to 63 points, which is just not that Arkansas team is multiple NBA draft picks. They holding that, I think that game is going to turn into something a bit more of a bigger win later on in the year, because I think Arkansas is going to have a really solid year, and holding that team to 63 points is really impressive. And clearly they're playing defense again tonight, holding San Jose State to 25 points in the first half. See who's doing well for them. Kohler 6 points, Carr 6 points, Cooper with 12, Fears 4, Fort 2, Ward 5 points off the bench, Tang 10 points off the bench. And again, they're shooting 2 for 11 from 3-point. They cannot shoot worth a lick, but if they're going to be 50% from the field and 14 assists on 16 shots, Michigan State also going to be a really difficult team to beat over the course of the year. Back underway in Alabama, almost halftime, 3.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Alabama up 2, 26 total field goal attempts. 20 of those have been threes, and they finally have a turnover. Phylon with the walk, turning it back over to Purdue. But again, that's the difference. Some of Purdue's turnovers have been live ball, which turned into transition dunks. Alabama's turnovers have been, I think all three of them have been dead ball turnovers, which is just a huge difference. Looks like now Purdue, nope, still got Jacobson and Meyer back in the game. Braden Smith with a really bad mid-range shot. Might have gotten tipped. Kaufman got the ball now in the dunker spot. Lifts back up in the paint. Does another hook shot and gets the bounce and roll. These rims in Alabama seem a bit friendly, but I mean, if you're a player, you'll take it happily. 8 offensive rebounds for Purdue to Alabama's 2. Purdue winning the second chance battle 6-3. Phylon just off the mark there. Jacobson gets the ball. Purdue pushes back. Meyer hits it down low into Kaufman. If I'm Kaufman, just go do the same thing again. Get to your shoulder. Again, gets to his shoulder, double pumps, and misses that one off the roll. But you'll live with that shot if you're Purdue. Alabama, quick flare screen for a three-point shot just off the mark. Finally takes them down to under 50% now from the three-point line. Kaufman comes down with the rebound. Meyer brings the ball up the court. This Purdue team is huge. I mean, not only are they tall, but they are clearly built. Trey Kaufman ran 15.7 rebounds in the first half. 2:17 remaining. We are tied in Tuscaloosa. Alabama 38, Purdue 38. Sideline out of bounds for Purdue. Lawyers got the ball up top to Braden Smith. Get into a pick and roll action with Clough. Clough kind of hits a short roll. Braden Smith tries to weave, takes another tough shot. I just don't like those shots from him. Kaufman, good rebound. Lawyer with a deep three. Off the mark. Clough with another offensive rebound. This is it. This is what we thought this game was going to be. Battle inside for Purdue. Braden Smith hits a three. Really good spray out by Clough there. 9 offensive rebounds now for Purdue. Second chance points up to 9. And scoring a point after every offensive rebound is going to be really difficult for Alabama to sustain over 40 minutes because you have to imagine they're not going to shoot 50% from 3 all night long as well. Holloway gets inside, gets a foul. That's going to take the foul. I think that's the 5th on Purdue, so we're still not quite in the bonus. Purdue up 3, 41-38, 1:37 left to go in the first half. Clough with a really good spray pass to Braden Smith in the corner. Knockdown 3. I think he's at 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists now for Braden Smith. Country's best point guard. So what we hear. Looks like it. 8-3-3 against a really good Alabama team. Holloway with the ball up top. Rejects the ball screen. He's got Clough on him, but kicks the ball out, which is really surprising. Purdue gets a hand on that. Going to be Alabama ball with the baseline out of bounds. Really surprised to not see Holloway try to attack and exploit that. He had Clough on him. Gamer, thanks for joining. Subscribe and your name in the portal. Alabama drives off 2 feet. Really tough shot. Clough did a really good job there. Purdue pushes back down. 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining in the half. Meyer with the 3 just off the mark. I don't think Matt Painter is going to love that. He's going to want to slow that down. Taking a quick transition 3, I don't think is in Matt Painter's DNA for this game because you're really just playing in Alabama's hands. 1 minute remaining now in the first half. Alabama with the and 1 right cell. We saw him do that time and time again against St. John's. Gets the bucket. Alabama within 1, 54.5 seconds left. Pull the box score back up right before we get to halftime. Right, so at the free throw line. Shot up and good. Tie game, 41-41. Impressed by Purdue, honestly, though. I mean, they're keeping pace with Alabama from a scoring standpoint. And I don't know if we really thought that was going to come out of Purdue in this game, which is why I was a bit worried. We've had 8 ties and 13 lead changes, which has been pretty much a testament to this game being basically styles make fights. And the styles right now are really producing. Purdue's doing well. Kaufman, floater in the lane. Another bucket for Trey Kaufman. He's up to 17 points on 10 shots. Almost has a double-double in the first half. Timeout Alabama. They're going to take their use it or lose it. 26 seconds left. Alabama takes their use it or lose it timeout. And this is where it gets very exciting to see what Nate Oates comes up with in the ATO. Purdue up to 43-41. So we take a break before coming back for most likely the last play of the first half. Again, thank you guys for being here. We've hit 100 now on TikTok. Appreciate it. Trey Kaufman rimmed 17 points on 10 shots, 8 rebounds, 2 turnovers for him. Clough with 4 points and a really good spray out to Braden Smith for that corner 3. Smith's got 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists with only 1 turnover, looking really good. Meyer 7 points off the bench, missed his last shot though. Alabama getting scoring from 9 of 10 players that have played in this game. The depth of Alabama is really impressive. They just have so many guys that can play. They all play the same style. They all play so well together. Country Kid, thanks for joining. Subscribe, enter your name in the portal. And but this story has been Holloway. 14 points, 4 of 7 shooting. And thank you guys for joining. Tony, Perfect Storm, subscribe, enter your name in the portal, get involved. Alabama, 14 seconds left. Going to take this clock down. Let's see what play they have coming out. And Meyer's going to immediately foul with a foul to give. Not bad by Painter. Takes it down to 9 seconds, and he's able to get a look at what Alabama was most likely looking to run. Now, there is an option, though, that Nate Oates knew this was coming and is going to have a different play to run. Sideline, we've got Wrightsell inbounding the ball. Holloway coming up over the top. We see a zoom action between two. Meyer again getting his hand on the ball. Really good defensive segment for him. Alabama gets downhill. Tough shot over Meyer. Defends it, and we are at halftime. Really good possession by Meyer off the bench. He got smart play to get the take foul. Pushed Alabama further away, which cost him a couple more seconds at the end of the half, and then went straight up on the contest of Wrightsell to close the game. Purdue 43-41 at halftime. Been a really, really good game. Thanks for joining and tuning in and watching. First half stats. Let's break this down. Let's get a little bit deeper level with this stuff since we have the time now. Purdue up 43-41 over Alabama in Tuscaloosa in a top 10 matchup in college basketball tonight. Trey Kaufman ran for Purdue, 17 points on 8 of 10 shooting, and he's even tallied a 3-point make in that as well. 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers. He's got 5 offensive rebounds in his 17 minutes, and he's got 5 of Purdue's 10 offensive rebounds tonight. Braden Smith, point guard, 8 points on 3 of 7 shooting, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover. He also has an offensive rebound, 3 defensive rebounds, 2 fouls. So he's able to play smart there at the end and not pick up a third. Lawyer, 2 points on 1 of 5 shooting. Meyer off the bench, 7 points, 3 of 5. 1 turnover, no rebounds, but a really, really good defensive segment there at the end of the half to keep Alabama off the board. Purdue, again, 43 points. They've got scoring from 7 of their 9 guys that have played tonight. 19 for 37 from the field, giving them 51% shooting. They're shooting 5 for 12 from the three-point line, 42%. They have not made their 2 free throws tonight. 25 rebounds, 11 assists on those 19 made field goals, and 4 turnovers. Big number for them, 10 offensive rebounds, 15 defensive to take them to 25 in comparison to Alabama's 11 total rebounds. That is why they are winning the game. Now, for the Alabama Crimson Tide, who find themselves down 2, they've gotten scoring from all 5 starters and 4 guys off the bench. Wrightsell with 3, Williamson with 3, Allen 3, Jemison 2. Holloway leading the way with them, 14 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. I don't think he shot in the final 5 minutes of that half, though. If you're Alabama, you definitely want to get that change. He did make 2 free throws, 2 of 2 for them. Wrightsell went 1 of 1 again at the end. Alabama 3 for 3 from the free throw line. They're shooting 45% as a team, 14 for 31 from the field goals or from the floor. 3-point line, 10 for 21, shooting 47%, 10 made threes to produce 12 taken threes. But they're getting killed in the rebounding battle. They're losing that 25-11. They have 3 turnovers, 3 steals. They've got a block. 2 offensive rebounds for Alabama, 9 defensive rebounds. Wrightsell with 16 minutes off the bench, looking really, really good. Bull Bowen hit 2 big threes for them to take himself up to 6 points. Phylon just 2 points, 1 of 7 shooting, having a bit of an off night after a really good showing up at Madison Square Garden, but he does have 5 turnovers, or sorry, not 5 turnovers. He has 5 assists, which is just, I mean, you'll still take that even if the guy's not scoring. He's 5 assists there, still getting other people involved, and he did have a steal, which led to the run out dunk, which was his 2 points. So all in all, there we go. Halftime, Purdue up 2. Let's check in on the Michigan State game. Only other ranked team playing at the moment. I think tonight these are the only ranked teams playing: Purdue, Alabama, and then Michigan State and San Jose State. Michigan State up 14 over San Jose State with 14 minutes left to go in the game. Let's get into some of the games that we've got going on over the weekend. Tomorrow night, UNC will be in action against North Carolina Central. Indiana State will be playing Indiana State will be playing at Duke tomorrow night in Cameron Indoor. Kentucky will be back in action, trying to follow up or answer back from their tough loss to Louisville on the road. They're going to play Eastern Illinois at Rupp. Texas Tech also trying to bounce back from a loss against Illinois earlier in the week. They will play Milwaukee at home. Arkansas back in action against Samford. And we've got Creighton going tomorrow night. Michigan and TCU. Illinois will be in action against Colgate. And at 10 o'clock tomorrow night, a game that I'm really looking forward to, Arizona and UCLA, a nod to the old school Pac-12. Shout out to Bill Walton. Top 15 matchup between these two groups. Arizona with potentially maybe the best win of the season so far, beating Florida on the neutral in Vegas to open the season up. They looked really good. Koa Pete looked like a legit top 3 pick from this freshman class as well for Arizona. And UCLA has maybe the best point guard in the Big Ten with Donovan Dent. Such a good scorer. He was really good at New Mexico last year. One of those guys that literally could have picked just about any team in the country to go to that he wanted to. Ended up settling on UCLA, and he's been great so far. So we're going to have Arizona UCLA tomorrow night, 10 p.m. That's going to be streaming on Peacock. And Gonzaga's back in action against Arizona State. That is your schedule for Friday. And then Saturday, the big game, which to me, the game I'm most excited for so far this season. UConn and BYU going up against each other in Boston at the TD Garden. AJ DeBonsta making a slight homecoming. UConn, I had a couple of friends go to the UConn and Carolina game a couple years ago when it was at Madison Square Garden, and they said it was just absolutely insane what that crowd and environment was. And I imagine that UConn fan base is going to be out and ready to go when they take on BYU in Boston. And then Sunday, the big game, we have Houston and Auburn. I think that game is in Birmingham, Alabama as well. Houston, my national champion pick of the preseason. I think they have looked great so far. This is really going to be their first test. And then after they play Auburn, I think they go into a stretch. They'll play Syracuse. They'll play Tennessee. They play Florida State, which I think is a sleeper in the ACC. Not a lot of people were talking about them. They looked really good against Florida, and they looked really good against this Alabama team in the preseason game that they played. And then they'll play Arkansas at the end of December, and then they will be into Big 12 play. Big 12 loaded this year. Let's just get into some conference breakdown. Big 12 right now currently has 6 Big 12 teams ranked in the top 25. Arizona, BYU, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas, and Texas Tech. I think Kansas is absolutely fraudulent, though. I know they have potentially the best player in the country in Darren Peterson, but I don't know. When Darren Peterson went out and they were playing against North Carolina, it just looked horrible. It looks like ESPN talking about that game tomorrow. Jaden Bradley coming back. He's been 3 years at Arizona. It's so rare that these kids will stay so long, especially with NIL and transfer portal. Back to the conferences. Big 12, again, 6 teams ranked, but I don't feel like they're all that. I don't think Kansas is that good. I think Texas Tech was my other Final Four pick. That's who it was. I had Texas Tech, Houston, Illinois, and then Louisville, which right now I feel pretty good about that, even though Texas Tech lost. ACC, though, let's get into some ACC talk, because I think that has been the conference that has really fallen off over the last couple years, but they look really, really good. The Wake Forest taking Wake Forest taking Michigan into overtime, losing by a point. North Carolina picking up a win against Kansas, even though I know I just said I don't think Kansas is that good. Carolina had to win that game. If they had lost that game, I think the complete foundation would have came crumbling down in Chapel Hill. Duke is obviously Duke. Louisville has an argument for the best win so far of the season against Kentucky. I still would take Arizona's win over Florida in Vegas, but we'll have to see how the SEC ends up shaking out. I think Virginia is going to be really good this year under Ryan Odom. Florida State, I think, is a team that not a lot of people were talking about. I think they could have a really good year. And so when you look at the ACC, Duke, solid. Louisville, solid. Miami, I really like them hiring Jay Lucas and bringing him in. And let's see.